Um, Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to continue on our new lesson number 4, which is about verbs. It is about verbs. You remember we are moving under the topic of English parts of speech. So we have to look at the 8 parts of speech, and that will enable us now to be fully equipped with the necessary words, that's the building blocks that we need for this language, English. So we are going to look at verbs. So welcome. Now, you are aware simply and basically that verbs are words for action. They show action. But further, you have to understand that now, from today, verbs are words that express action as well as a state of something. Like right now, I can say, I am teaching. So teaching is a verb of action. But when I say, I am a teacher, I am a teacher. Now, which is a verb, and which we are going to see to be auxiliary verb, that's helping verb. It's showing who I am. It is showing my state. It's showing what I do. It's showing what I am. So, straight away, let us move to the really thing, and we get moving. So, as I've said earlier on, a verb is a word or a group of words that express an action or a state. So it can be a single word or a group of words that actually express an action or a state. Now, examples of verbs are as follows: go, jump, sleep, eat, think, hear, change, become, drive, complete. Now, if you listen again to the way I pronounce these verbs, you will find that those that have 2 syllables, I've been stressing the second syllable. And that is very important when it comes to pronunciation, because there are words that will function as verbs and are with the same spelling as noun. So it only depends on how you do your pronunciation. Now let us look at example sentences. Number 1, we had a nice lunch. We had a nice lunch. Had. I think that he is right. I think that he is right. Think is a verb, but still is another verb in that sentence. He drove for hours. He drove for hours. Drove is a verb. Drove is a verb. So the word verb comes from the Latin word verbum, verbum, which means action. I'm saying the word verb comes from a Latin word verbum, and verbum in Latin means action or doing. So let us move now to types of verbs. Types of verbs. So we're going to look at the first type of verb, the one we call auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. We also call it helping verbs. Why do we do so? We call them helping verbs because they help the main verb to complete an idea, to bring about a meaning of a sentence. Listen to me. I'm going to give two sentences. I teaching. I teaching. The second sentence, I am teaching. I am teaching. You will realize that the second sentence has a complete idea. Why? Because there is am, which is helping teaching, and therefore completes the meaning. It completes the meaning. So let us look at some examples of auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs. Some of the examples are be, is, are, was, were, do, did, have, has, have. We have more than that. Now let us look at example sentences in which auxiliary verbs have been used. Sentence 1. They are jogging. They are jogging. Are is an auxiliary verb. Sentence 2. She was sitting. She was sitting. Was is an auxiliary verb. Was is an auxiliary verb. Sentence 3. We were waiting for hours. We were waiting for hours. Were is an auxiliary verb. Were is an auxiliary verb. Is she sleeping? Is she sleeping? Is an auxiliary verb. He didn't know the answer. He didn't know the answer. Didn't. Didn't is an auxiliary verb. We have gone a long way. We have gone a long way. Have is an auxiliary verb. Has she received any of my letters? Has she received any of my letters? Has is an auxiliary verb. Do you smoke? Do you smoke? Do is an auxiliary verb. Will she help? Will she help? Will is an auxiliary verb. Having looked at auxiliary verbs, let us move to second type of verbs, which we call compound verbs. Compound verbs, they are compound because they appear in two ways. Auxiliary verb plus the main verb. Like was playing, was playing. Was is an auxiliary verb, playing is a main verb, and therefore that forms a compound verb. So what am I saying about compound verbs? A compound verb is an auxiliary verb plus main verb. Examples are was playing, has eaten, doesn't want. So in sentences, let us see examples. Number 1, they were discussing their future. They were discussing their future. So, were discussing is a compound verb. Were discussing is a compound verb. He didn't tell us the truth. He didn't tell us the truth. Didn't tell is a compound verb. I have finished my homework. I have finished my homework. Have finished is a compound verb. She will meet us there. She will meet us there. Will meet is a compound verb. Let us move to the third type of verbs. Stative verbs. Stative verbs. So, stative verbs are verbs that express a state rather than an action. A state, like when I say, I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. Yes. I'm a teacher. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that it doesn't show action, but a state of something. Examples: be, sing, love, on, want, sound, have, know, understand. Well, example sentences are as follows. She is a great wife. She is a great wife. Great. Great. He seems rather strange. He seems rather strange. Seems. Seems is a stative verb. He wanted to see you. He wanted to see you. Wanted is a stative verb. That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Sounds is a stative verb. We have enough things to do. We have enough things to do. Have is a stative verb. Have is a stative verb. Have is a stative verb. So what else are we saying about stative verbs? Stative verbs are very interesting because they are usually not used in the progressive tenses unless they themselves are action tense, they are action verbs. Example, you cannot say he is wanting to see you. You cannot say he is wanting to see you. You have to say he wants to see you. So the stative verb want cannot be put in progressive tense. Another incorrect sentence. I am knowing what to do. I am knowing what to do. That is incorrect. You have to say, I know what to do. I know what to do. Another example, which is incorrect. They are seeming nice. They are seeming nice. No, say it this way. They seem nice. They seem nice. However, if the same verb is used to describe an actual action, not a state, then it can be used in the progressive tenses. That is, if it is used to describe the actual action, then it can be used in progressive tenses. Like you can say, we were having lunch when he came in. We were having lunch when he came in. So having lunch is expressing the really action, the actual action. Yes, we were having lunch when he came in. So let us look at these examples. We say, when the verb have means on, it is a state. So we do not use it in the progressive tenses. When have means to own, to possess something, then we cannot use it in the progressive tenses. For example, I am having a laptop. I am having a laptop. That is incorrect. You have to say, I have a laptop. I have a laptop. So, when the verb have means, for example, it. Yeah, it. It is an actual action. So, we can use it in the progressive tenses. Like, you can say, I am having lunch with John. I am having lunch with John. Or I have lunch with John. I have lunch with John. So these are some of what you have to go in to understand really what verbs are all about. So sometimes I meet students who, if you ask, do you understand part English, part of speech, they say, we know them, we know them. But they have not taken upon themselves trouble to go into and try to understand what is behind this. Because I said in the beginning that English parts of speech are building blocks, are like polymers, building blocks of English language. So without which, then what you are speaking is almost near to English, but because those who are around you, they are worse than you, then you think you are doing the right thing, when in the actual sense, you are mutilating the language. So as an English teacher, I would feel sad if I hear you mutilating the language in my presence, then I would be a little bit irritated, but an academic irritation, not personal. Let us move to another type of verbs, which we are calling dynamic verbs. Dynamic verbs. Dynamic verbs are the opposite of stative verbs. Why? Because they do express real action. They do express real action. So they are called dynamic verbs. Examples: jump, swim, catch, write, call, sleep, hit, open, speak. Example sentences are as follows: they swam to the other side. They swam to the other side. She hit me on the head. She hit me on the head. Open the window, please. Open the window, please. So, saying that the dynamic verbs can be used in the progressive tenses. Like, I'm jumping. She is jumping. He is eating. You see, it can dynamic verbs can be used in progressive tenses. That is what you have to note. So far so good. Let us continue. For example, he is drinking water. Yes, you can say he drinks water. He is drinking water right now as we speak. So let us move ahead and we go to regular verbs. Regular verbs. Regular verbs are verbs that follow the rule below. When changing them into their past tenses, you either add D or ED. That is the rule. Example, check. On the word check, you will add ED to become checked. On the word open, you will add ED for it to become opened. But on the word bake, to bake bread, you will add only D to have it baked. So there are certain rules to to adding D or ED to a verb, that is to infinitive verb, to a verb in its basic state, to in its base, not basic, in its base state, that is in present tense, to make it a past tense. So let us move to irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. So irregular verbs are verbs that do not follow the above rule, and there are quite a lot of them. So what we advise students is they just have to memorize them, to master them, because there's no formula when it comes to changing them from present tense to past tense. In fact, here, they change completely. They change completely. For example, drink, it becomes drunk. Sleep, it becomes slept. Bring, it becomes brought. Eat becomes ate. So you can see how they change completely, and therefore here you don't have to follow any rule when converting or changing present tense to past tense. Let us move to what we call phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are very interesting, and sometimes they bring about confusion. Why? Because what they mean, what the verb and the whatever inside is brings a different meaning, therefore becomes a problem. Like there were two travelers one day, they were in the train, and they were seated beside each other, and there was one who was close to the window, and he was dozing, he was sleeping, sort of. So he had really leaned, or he was bending out of the window of the train. Then the one seated next to him told him, watch out, you will be hit by tree branches, watch out. Now when this man heard of watch out, he bent further outside, now looking, meaning watch, and that's not what was meant. But later on, when he was about to be hit by a branch of a tree, he complained to the other one, why are you telling me to watch out when you should have told me to watch in? So let us go. A phrasal verb is a verb that is combined with an adverb or a preposition. The combination creates a new meaning. So we are saying that a verb can be combined with either a preposition or an adverb, and now that phrase brings about a new idea. Yes, and you have to know when we are talking about a phrase would be, I'll look at that ahead. It's too early to start looking at it because I'll be looking at noun clause, what a clause is, what a phrase is, because from a main clause, then you come to whatever, you go up to you reduce to a phrase. We shall look at that in short. Examples. Run, we know run as a verb is to move very quickly with your legs. She can run fast, you can say that. Then into, it means in the direction of something. He looked into my eyes. But when you bring run, you bring into. Now you are talking about run into. The meaning changes, and run into is to meet someone by accident. Like you can say, oh, I went to the market and I ran into my uncle, who I saw last 10 years ago. Let us look at make and up. To make is to create or do something. He made a lot of noise. Up is to a higher joint. Look up, up. But now when you combine make and up, do you know what you come up with? Is to invent a story or an excuse. It has never happened. He made the whole story. Meaning sometimes you might be looking for excuse for a given thing, then you make up a story. Meaning you create a story which is non-existential. So that is what it's all about this. And therefore, let's move forward. Yes, let us move forward. Let us look at another good example. Let us look at another good example. Put, then up. We know the verb put means to place something somewhere. To place something somewhere. Yeah? Could you put this upstairs? Up to a higher point, meaning you can say look up. Then there is with. Yeah, that is concerning. She is happy with her workplace. But when you combine put, up, and with, I'm telling you, it brings a totally different meaning. Put up with is to tolerate some place, someone, something. Like I cannot put up with his behavior anymore. I cannot put up with his behavior anymore. I cannot put up with his behavior anymore. So this is all about verbs, and I hope this lesson has been helpful to you when it comes to verbs. And I want to believe you can add more, you can read more, and understand these verbs clearly. And therefore, when you are using them, you exactly know what you are doing, you know where you are going, and it should not appear like you don't know what you are supposed to do. Otherwise, thank you very much. If you are watching this video for the first time, give it a thumb up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and go on following me as I go through, as I take you through this very interesting language. And I'm sure whether you like it or not, at the end of the day, you will be speaking good English because you have the building blocks of the language. Otherwise, thank you very much. Eid Mubarak, inshallah.